More whinging, yes, but I think this is a pretty damning allegation from first Meghan's lawyer and then Meghan herself, that people with inside Buckingham Palace, the palace system, were briefing journalists about negative stories against Harry and Meghan in order to make other negative stories about other members of the royal family go away. That's what the trailer was alluding to.
Sort of like a trade-off going on.
A trade-off is what the allegation seems to suggest in this trailer. Of course, we don't have both sides to this story. Buckingham Palace have not commented on this as of yet. I think this is certainly playing into the narrative following the first trailer we saw, where Prince Harry said they were happy to lie to protect my brother. We don't know who the they is in this situation from Prince Harry, but clearly this is another trailer very cleverly edited on the eve of the final 3 episodes of the documentary airing. But I must stress that Buckingham Palace have not commented, and this is clearly just one side of the story.
Yeah, and there's also, you're talking about the editing. I gather there's some comment on some words missing, for instance, from the late Queen's dedication of a life of service on 21st birthday. With some editing that your service apparently missing from that recording. Might be a minor point, but clearly there's huge sensitivities about the way that Netflix is approaching this. Yeah,
there certainly is. I think Netflix will be very much aware that every second, every frame of this documentary is going to be heavily scrutinised by press, both here in Great Britain and in the United States as well. From what royal sources have told newspapers over the weekend, I think perhaps Prince Harry seems to believe that any story about members of about him or Meghan are just automatically going to be negative in the British press regardless, and therefore he doesn't care anymore what is said about this particular documentary. Clearly we don't have that from Prince Harry firsthand, but there's this ongoing war between Prince Harry, Meghan and the British press has been going on for years and seems to continue.
And there was legal action, of course, we remember as well, with all sorts of claims. Just to go ahead to tomorrow, are you sitting back in your cinema seat and watching all 3 episodes once more?
I will be. So from 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'll be back in that cinema here on GBNews, giving you all the latest analysis from those 3 episodes.
Good luck. Thank you very much indeed. Let's get more now with Charles Ray, former royal correspondent for The Sun. Charles, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We won't make you sit through all 3 episodes, even though clearly people are quite interested to see and hear what's being said. And just on this point about members of royal household speaking to the press, as they did with The Sun, I mean, that's gone on for decades, for years. That's the stock in trade, isn't it?
Well, let's get it right. We cannot bring up the monarch or the Prince of Wales or any other member of the royal family and ask for a comment about something that is going on in the royal family. It does not work like that. They have a press office. Now, when I first started doing royal reporting about 30 years ago, the standard answer from the press office at Buckingham Palace was no comment. Simple as that. I never had a phone call from anybody at the palace or the press office, a member of the household who wanted to give us some information. Never happens. When they brought in professional spokespeople, which was a lot better, and we could check things with them, we always went to them. They never came to us to give us stories. Now, where they've got this thing about stories being planted to make William or the King look bad, save the King from looking bad, or and making Meghan and Harry look worse. It's rubbish, absolute rubbish. It doesn't operate like that. You know, they talked about her lawyer talked about the evidence. I'm going to be watching these 3 programmes tomorrow, like Cameron, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing what evidence they produce to show us this.
OK, because clearly there were investigations about claims of bullying in the household and so on. Those documents have not been made public. But, I mean, is it the case, just to return to what you're saying, that maybe junior members of the royal household were getting sort of tip-off fees from various newspapers if they just sort of went into the tittle-tattle, if you like?
Well, there were occasions where people who work for the royal household, were paid. There's no question about that. But, what they seem to be talking about is that a some sort of negative story would crop up about William. Oh, hang on a second, we've got to get that out of the way. Let's drop a bombshell on Meghan. It's just not correct. She mentioned her father, I think, briefly in that clip. Well, hang on a second. That was an American TV organisation that helped stunted up those pictures of her father, in Montecito, in America and everything else.
Yeah.
But that was, we reported that. The British newspapers reported that. We didn't get that story. It was an American story.